So you want to design a magical girl, but you don't know how to make one that doesn't look like a Sailor Moon ripoff. Well, you've come to the right place. At least I think. Hello, it's me. Again. I'm far from professional, but I have designed a good amount of magical girls. Some are for my main magical girl story, some I just created out of boredom. But from my experience, I've learned a thing or two. So we're going to break this down into 3 simple steps. Step 1. Theme. What is your magical girl's theme? What is she based on? What powers does she have? These elements can do a lot for your design. For example, Miichigo's theme is cats and also strawberries. Sailor Moon's theme is the moon and sailors, obviously. It's not a necessity, but having 2 themes can make a design really interesting. For example, my OC Serena's theme is water and princesses, and also crystals. Now, there is literally no limit to what a magical girl's theme can be. It can be anything you want: animals, elements, vehicles, literally anything. Now let's move on to the next step. Step 2. Personality. A character's personality can really affect how their design is. This goes for all characters, not just magical girls. For example, Pure Wonderful is very energetic and playful, which is why her design is so poofy and colorful and fun. It's so you can tell how a character is by just looking at them. It could also be considered a form of visual storytelling. Looking at their design is like you're reading the character and what they are like, instead of the character having to tell you their entire personality. Even if they did, you'd be able to look at them and be like, yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of likes, let's move on to the next and final step. Step 3. Aesthetic. Just like themes, they can literally be anything. But one thing's for sure, it would have to match the character in some way. For example, you wouldn't put a tomboy in a sparkly pink dress, would you? You choose a style that would match their character. The style/aesthetic could be a bit challenging sometimes, especially if you're designing a magical girl team. You want them to look harmonious, but you don't want them to look like carbon copies of each other. The style should be somewhat consistent, but could vary from character to character. If you've chosen a particular style, for example Lolita, you'd want a vision board full of different references. Merging these references together could also add to the uniqueness of the design. Now let's see a character I created solely for this video, using all these steps. Meet unnamed magical girl OC number 005. Let's just call her Candy. You can see her theme is Candy. Duh. She has the generic pink lead personality. She's bubbly, optimistic, and a bit naive. For the aesthetic of her design, I went for Lolita, specifically Sweet Lolita. I know it's nothing groundbreaking, but so you can have an example of what I'm trying to talk about. Thank you for watching this. It's my first tutorial. I hope you learned something. Comment down below your personal tips for designing a magical girl, and I'll see you next time.
What an interesting artifact.